but as you can see, they're great for you fly into the base. You're like, oh, hey, this is a good time to land and attack and do a little raid. So you come in there and drop them down, blow some stuff up, and leave. So I think I've kind of fended that off. You'll see me over here. I'm trying to secretly tech up to starports because he didn't know where this thing was until he scattered it. And you see I make a pretty big mistake over here by trying to build a fusion core, which is what allows you to build battlecruisers. Battlecruisers are much improved and actually worth kind of building in Starcraft2 at the moment, until somebody comes up with better strategies than I. But he comes in here, and I actually finished the fusion core. If I'd been paying attention, I would have canceled it. So this is a pretty big waste of resources. I don't actually get to build anything. I do airlift out all of my stuff and manage to run out a few of my SCVs, not all of them, but I do manage to get a few of them out. Starports can build reactors as well. See, there you go. There's the tech lab. It says it builds 50 minerals, 50 gas, but it lets you build extra stuff there, and the reactor's the same cost, but it allows two things to build simultaneously. Here are my first Reapers. He doesn't actually spot them running across the map, which is basically what saves me in this game. These 5 Reapers right here, because basically, as you can see, he's been pretty much just beating the living hell out of me the entire game. He's been constantly harassing my bases. He's basically destroyed one of my expansions. I had to retreat from it. He's been all over everything, and I managed to bring these 5 Reapers into his base, and now you get to see how powerful they are right now. He's just got this one Hellion defending the base, and I bring these Reapers back here and just blow up everything, really. There's nothing going on. He's trying to attack my base right now. Blow up a command center, blow up a few of my frontal defenses, but I've got everything. This Reaper has 1 kill, 4 kills, 3 kills, 7, and then I go all the way down to his natural expansion and proceed to do the exact same thing here. This pretty much gets me back into the game. This one raid right here, the rest of the game, it evens things back up. The game would have been nothing if these Reapers hadn't been built. It's actually kind of surprising. You'll see they're doing a lot of damage to the buildings right now. That actually nerfed in a recent patch. They were, frankly, correctly nerfed. They were really, really, really strong against buildings before. They had a huge damage bonus, or not a huge damage bonus, but a huge amount of damage they can deal pretty quickly. Which, I mean, in a raiding unit, yeah, it's okay. They're meant to blow up SCVs, but they shouldn't be able to, rush your base in the beginning and actually blow up your command center. That seems like a bit much. He does manage to push these guys out, but if you see, he's got, no SCVs right now. He's had to actually drop in some mules to rebuild at all. Mules are a special ability from the new Terran Comsat station. Basically, the Comsat station now has 3 abilities. It can drop down a mule, a la Firefly. If you've seen the movie, you'll basically have seen things that look a lot like this before. They are extra fast miners. They carry, I think, twice as many minerals as your average SCV does, and they move a little faster. But they do live for a short period of time. You can see the time limit on top of them right there. They can also drop down extra supply and do a scanner sweep as they used to back in the day. You'll see an extra supply depot here. It's a little taller than the old ones, but it does double supply. So just giving you 8 gives you 16. See here, I'm trying to re-expand in the north and get my second expansion going again. Big thing here is the fact that I already knew he had air, and I knew he was going heavy air because he dropped another bunch of Vikings on top of everything. And I don't build any missile turrets at all, and that was a pretty big oversight on my part. It's pretty bad to do that. Here he is coming in with his Vikings, but I have managed to detect up the battlecruisers basically at the exact same time he arrives. So battlecruisers, you'll see they attack a lot faster than they used to before. Before it used to be a big hit every once in a while. Now they attack much faster. And they do a pretty decent amount of damage. They have a lot of health running around. They're fairly powerful overall. It's a great little setup they have going. They're much more powerful than they used to be before. Before they were kind of not built that much. I didn't really see them in that many games, unless you were just being dominated and somebody felt pretty silly. But these 2 battlecruisers managed to fight off those 5 or 6 Vikings with a little bit of help with the SCV there. let's see, I try to expand again down here. I'm not entirely sure why I tried to do this. It's a pretty exposed position. It's really close to his base, not very close to mine. Battlecruisers are still very slow. There's no way I could react to this being attacked, and that's exactly what happens to it. He's sending in another Viking for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but it gets taken out pretty... No, okay, so just manages to run away. But yeah, back to this expansion. I'm not sure why I built it. It was a really bad idea on my part. It's just asking to get attacked. It's in a really attackable position. It's in the natural of a base that is not my own. I would have been much better off expanding here and just finally getting into this marine. It's really been here the whole game, and he knows that I haven't expanded here, which means anytime he thinks I'm getting too many resources, I'm probably getting it from somewhere else. See, there he is. This is the Viking that ran away. He's just scouting around with it, basically. I'm still trying to build battlecruisers as quickly as possible to try to catch him up to fend off his Vikings. And there he is. He's just scouted this base out again. He does really well at scouting out all of my extra expansions. And here you see, yeah, basically they start tearing into the command center, and things go down pretty quickly from here. Basically, I also attempt at this point to, well, I consider it, I don't know if you saw it there, I did try to build something on this command center. There are two upgrades for the command center. There's not only the ComSat station, but there's also the orbital fortress, which allows it to... It puts a big gun on top of the command center, which allows it to pretty well fend off pretty decent attacks. The only downside of that is with the ComSat station, you can still lift off the command center. If you put an orbital fortress on top of a command center, it is not moving again. You cannot escape with it. So an orbital fortress is great for defending, you know, a kind of riskily built command center, but it's not going to help you very much in any sort of situation where you think you might want to run away. I don't actually manage to finish that command center, but he has put a orbital planetary fortress thing on top of here. You can kind of see the gun underneath the Vikings right here. Basically, this would prevent me from ever coming in here with Reapers again. There's pretty much no way. It does a pretty significant amount of damage. Also, right here, you'll see the new scanning animation, and it stays there for the full duration of the actual scan. No more guessing how long can he still see me here. We are both mining out our mains right now, so we have to expand to keep going. And we're pretty well even to economic-wise, I feel. Yeah, he's got a few minerals, a few gas. I've got a lot of extra minerals running around, and my population is actually a bit higher, but I've got all these tanks, which aren't really... I mean, they're effective, but they're not as effective, because the Vikings can pretty much just run away whenever they want, and just land right next to the siege tanks as necessary, which, you know, isn't all that useful for me, because basically you can just force the tanks to destroy themselves. So the tanks are pretty much wasted food at this point. Here I'm moving around my battlecruisers to try to defend both of my expansions at once. And he is sending up his Vikings to scout, I believe, some more. He's making sure I haven't gotten these high-yield minerals, which basically, instead of getting 8 minerals from each one, I think you just... Or instead of getting 4 minerals from each one, I think you get 8. Yeah, he's just retreating again, picking up a few extra Vikings, and I am finally expanding to my natural. I felt it was a little too hard to defend earlier, but I realize now that the siege tank can pretty much cover the whole ravine, so 2 siege tanks up here could have pretty easily defended this expansion. And I could have picked it up a lot easier and not had so many troubles later. And here he comes. Again, I have no missile turrets up. Another huge mistake on my part, and he just lands his stuff in here and destroys everything. Now, a consideration to make as far as Vikings go is it's not like they're forced to stay in the air. It's not like the Banshees. So if I had built missile turrets inside this area, he could have just landed out here on the edge and then just flown straight in. I would have had to line the entire edge with missile turrets and then probably built some on the inside. You know, a pretty heavy investment. It's a pretty good expansion. I could have done that. It would have paid for itself, but still a pretty heavy loss on my front. This, by the way, is the same command center that was up here, down here at the beginning of the game. It has managed to survive 3 raids at this point, which I find to be kind of hilarious. Here you can see me moving in. I think because he's destroyed that expansion, I've decided that I want to go for one of his. So he's coming back and starts attacking. my battle cruisers again. You can see I've upgraded their weapons, so they're just